Hello, and welcome to The Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Each week, they bring you conversations with local Christian businesses and business owners. The Experience Local is brought to you each week by wonderful sponsors.
Copper Rock Real Estate. Commercial and residential real estate in the Mid-Willamette Valley. CopperRockRealty.com. Independent Merchant Brokers. Low-cost and no-cost debit and credit card processing. 877-460-4747. IndependentMerchantBrokers.com. Join Boson Hub Digital Development in supporting Kicking Cancer. Kicking Cancer provides support, education, and resources for cancer patients, survivors, and families. Kicking-cancer.org. Adams Ribs Smokehouse, 1210 State Street, Salem, Oregon, 503-362-2194. AdamsRibsSmokehouse.com. Discover Oregon Real Estate. Tim Rist on the web at dore.llc. Find your people, find your home.
And now, your hosts for The Experience Local, Russ and Scott.
Ta-da! Hey. Here we are, live on The Experience Local, live with Russ and Scott, and we are so thankful to be with everybody today. How you doing, Scott?
Yeah, I'm doing good. It's going to be a little change up for The Experience Local, and we'll tell you what that means in just a moment.
Yes, I'm telling you, we're going to keep you on pins and needles here.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? We're so excited to be here today. You know, we're here every Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your listening and viewing pleasure. So this is live at 9 a.m., but also it becomes a video podcast. Will sit on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube forever. You can go back and watch it. And you can also listen on iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon, whatever your favorite podcast platform is. So that's available to you. And it's also part of the Experience Radio Network. There you go. You can listen to us on radio. So go to our favorite site for more information. And that is, tell us, Scott.
Go to local.theexperience.video. There's all kinds of information there. You can get links to the shows that Russ has, like Marketing with Russ every Monday and Thursday, Russ Reels every Thursday afternoon, and the Waco Experience, which is a new show, which is just audio, broadcasting on KBBW here in Waco, all the way down to Austin, Temple, Killeen, Round Rock, and Waco, of course. But then it goes as a podcast, so you can find it anywhere you want. And cleverly on my name, it says thewacoexperience.com. You can
cleverly
go right there as well. But go to local.theexperience.video, and I encourage everyone to follow our YouTube channels there and let us know your YouTube channel, because we would love to follow you as well. It's good for everybody. It doesn't cost anything, but it, as they say, helps the algorithms.
Well, there you go. And you can go directly to the experience.video, straight to our YouTube page, or like Scott said, local.theexperience.video has everything for you. So much more information. So either place is going to get you to our YouTube page. And we'd love for you to be part of that community because it's really growing. And occasionally you'll see my dog and cat, which seem to be more popular than Scott and I. So we occasionally on sports they'll pop up, or in shorts. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, I'm so excited for today, though, Scott. I mean, you know what? No matter what you're going through in life, Mondays to me are kind of a breath of fresh air. It's a new start, new opportunity, new possibilities. I always look at it as a real positive day. How about you?
Yeah, it's not that I dislike weekends and holidays, but it's fun. I love Mondays. I love the work week when we get together. You, Russ, and I, we get to bring in really cool people like today's guest, Alpha Newberry. And I mentioned that we're going to have a little bit of a change up on the Experience Local. So when we started this, Russ there in Salem and I was in Independence. Since then, I have moved to Waco, Texas. We've relocated here and are becoming embedded into this community. And so at least once a month, we're going to bring in a guest from the local business community here. And today it's Alpha Newberry. And he and his wife have Ashley have actually 3 businesses, and we'll talk about FUZZ LAB, but also the 2 other businesses that they are running, and their 2 boys, and all the fun and merry mix-ups that happen when you have 2 small children in the mix.
All right. Well, with that, I think we should just bring Alpha in and get the show rolling. Good morning, Alpha.
Good morning.
So let me do just a quick introduction. Alpha, you and I met, and you're on the Experience Local. We're big proponents of the chamber, and we're members of the Waco Chamber. I've been members of the Monmouth Independence Chamber, the Corvallis Chamber, the Salem Chamber there in Oregon. Russ, we only have 30 minutes, so we don't have time to list the chambers that Russ is involved in. But Alpha, you and Ashley were my first friends at the chamber. We met at we had lunch together at the networking forum at the Art Center way back in June of this year, which sounds like long ago, but it wasn't that long ago. And then we were able to have Ashley on the Waco Experience, an American Story, that broadcast from the FUZZ LAB. So let's have you give us an introduction. Tell us about FUZZ LAB, because it sounds interesting. Plus, you have a couple of other businesses. Give us an overview of what you and Ashley are involved in.
Yeah. So, well, thank you for that. It was we met at the chamber meeting there at the Art Center there in Waco, and so that kind of ties in with FUZZ LAB. We're a DIY arts and crafts studio, so we provide materials, experience, know-how, and we try to make some things that might be perceived kind of difficult at first. I'll get into more of those crafts later, but some of these crafts that might be perceived as kind of difficult, or just takes a lot of stuff to get started. That's what our studio does. We help people come in and just have a great time, and just really ensure their success. So one of our main craft there is tufting, and that, for those of you who have never heard of tufting, it's a rug making process. And so we have equipment. It's called the tufting gun. It kind of looks like a cross between a sewing machine and a drill. And
it kind of looks like it reminds me of a saber saw, kind of a reciprocating.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Kind of the way it
Exactly.
works.
It actually operates much like that. So there's quite a bit of safety that goes into it, and we teach everyone the ropes of how to be safe while they're using the equipment, and how to get the the final result that they want. But essentially, our guests come in and they're looking to do like a custom design. I can't tell you how many people have come in and said, I want to do a picture of my dog in a rug form. And so, we have projectors in our studio. We'll project their image that they've brought in onto the canvas. We'll trace it out and kind of show them how to, like I said, be safe while using the tufting gun. We've got over 30 different yarn color options, so there's quite a bit of customizability there. So we take them through that whole process. We show them how to apply backing to the rug, just to give it that nice stiffness, and then we shade it down for them at the end. So that's kind of our main craft that we offer there. But we have a couple others as well. We do acrylic painted bears, and so this is a form of drip art. So we'll take 2, 3, 4 colors and sort of mix them in a certain fashion. We'll like swirl them into in a cup. And it's a lot of fun, especially with the younger ones too. This one they can get more involved with, and so we provide the paint. And these 3D Moshi bears are about, most of them are about yay big, but they go as high as 2 feet tall. We have some of those in studio. They look like they're like little creatures. You can move their arms around, you can turn their heads, put them in all sorts of different poses. But it's a lot of fun. We have pipettes, so you can take the pipette out and kind of drip it over the bear, and it creates this really cool swirling effect of these. It's multicolored, and it just covers the entirety of the bear. You can also take the cup and just pour it over the actual figurine itself, and it leaves a really cool kind of look to it. And they're small enough they can fit on a desk or on a bookshelf, and they're really popular with like large groups.
Well, I find that super, super interesting, all the stuff you're doing, because it's not your normal kind of art that people are thinking about. It's outside the box. We have a place here just outside of Corvallis in Philomath, Oregon, where they have a creative place, and you can do your own arts and all of that as well. But I have never heard of some of these things, like, for example, the carpet thing. So the people are making a carpet for their dog. So like when their dog gets up from the carpet, they think their dog is still there because they actually show their dog on.
Yeah. Instead of yarn, I guess whenever you take your dog in for a cut, you can just bring those in. No, that's oftentimes they'll just do like kind of the shape of their dog's head, and they'll kind of they'll tuft an image of that. I like to tell everyone that oftentimes simpler is better whenever you're tufting, especially if you're a beginner. And so, when you think of images or something to make with tufting, it like clip art or outlines actually turn out really well. Yeah.
So doing the Baylor logo, Oregon State University, that kind of thing.
Yep.
There you go. That sounds a lot easier than your dog. So, Well, so how did you get started with all this? This is very interesting to me because this is beyond what we all think about of normal art sometimes. What made you think about these unique things that you're doing?
Yeah. So I can't take the credit for this one. That's going to be, Ashley, my wife, who kind of takes the credit for it. So
smart man.
She's a great friend. And so her best friend's birthday was rolling around, and she's the artsy one in their group. And so she was looking for something to do. And so her and her other friends were looking, and they found a place just like this in Austin, and they had such a blast. In fact, when Ashley was there, tufting her own rug, her first one, she had I think he was around, he wasn't very old. He would have been our baby anyways. I think he was about 6 months or so, but he was strapped on and she was going to town. And they chose a larger size too. So that was about a 4-hour ordeal for them. Most of the time it takes about 3 to 3.5 hours, but they were there for a while. But she enjoyed it so much. And one of the things about being involved in small business is it's like a blessing and a curse, because sometimes you cannot, you get trapped in the lens of looking through things through the small business lens. And so we loved the concept, loved the idea. And so we reached out to the owners, kind of got in touch with them, and, kind of the rest is history. So, and that we opened FUZZ LAB in March of this year.
And so let's talk about here on the experience local with Russ and Scott. We are talking with Alpha Newberry of FUZZ LAB and 2 other businesses. So I want you to briefly tell us about these 2 other businesses that you have. And then also you have 2 boys, and we continually talk about integrating your business along with your family and your faith. So give us an overview of these businesses and how you're integrating all of this.
Yeah, it seems like a lot. Whenever we do these types of interviews, and you guys are saying like this and that, it doesn't seem like a lot in the moment. But I guess whenever I stop and take a look from a higher perspective, it kind of does seem like a lot of moving parts. And so I really think at the center of it all is really our faith and our family, and then the businesses just kind of fall in line there. So our first business that we started is called Bit Bar. It's a arcade bar and patio. So we have retro video games from the 80s and 90s. You've got like Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Street Fighter, Ninja Turtles, all that stuff. Yeah, the original cabinets. So we've got that at our bar. It's located in Temple, Texas. All the games are on free play. And then, we have a bar and patio. So we opened that business in 2021. So just, it's kind of around that COVID pandemic time, just right after. We were actually looking to launch that in March of 2020, but we had to delay it about a year, for everything going on there. But yeah, that was the first business that we kind of started. That kind of led us on this trajectory outside of the traditional 9 to 5, and we started becoming more entrepreneurial, you could say. And then, so anyways, our second business, we started in 2020, like at the end of 2022 and early part of 23. It's an Air BnB business. And so we have a home that it's a, kind of a unique concept. When you think of Airbnbs, you often think of, it's a destination, like I'm going to Destin, Florida, or I'm going to Austin, or I'm going to Dallas to, rent out. But we have kind of a unique concept, and it works on, it's been working for us. It's a short-term rental, but that's located in Killeen. We started that in 2022, 2023 timeframe. It went live in 23, but we started renovations and stuff latter part of 22.
Wow, you guys definitely are busy, but I got to jump back and say that I was like the Donkey Kong king in college. So back when Scott and I were at Oregon State University, Donkey Kong was my game. I've really never been into video games too much, but for some reason,
Donkey Kong for me, it was Battle Zone. Battle Zone was. I remember, and this is the poor college student thing in Alpha. You could probably relate to this. I found a quarter on the street, and I was excited because I went to the student union into the basement where they had the Battle Zone and got to, played my round of Battle Zone on the
nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely the poor college. Yeah.
The Airbnb is also near a military base, and you're talking about kind of the unique concept. This is really kind of where you're catering, I believe.
Yeah, it's a kind of a niche, market there within Airbnb. You're absolutely right. It's right next to Fort Cavazos, formerly known as Fort Hood, and it's it's located in Killeen, like you're on the way to Copperas Cove, kind of on the western side of Killeen there. But we actually partnered with my brother-in-law in this business, and we acquired the house, fixed it up. It was in pretty rough shape, but we fixed it up, and then kind of we could either take it one of two ways. We could do the short-term rental side, and if that didn't work out, then we can sort of pivot and go just a traditional long-term rental route. And we kind of knew we had that on the back burner, but really wanted to test out this concept first. And but it's been working for us, and we've really had a lot of fun doing that and just managing that business. That one is kind of unique also in that it doesn't. A lot of the work went up front on getting that established and getting that ready to run. And now there are some ongoing things, maintenance is a big one, and turnovers on rooms. But just in a comparison, I think that business is a little bit more hands off, but we're still actively managing it.
Well, I just think it's amazing all the things that you're doing. And, I know that in my business and Scott, that our faith is really our driving part of what really keeps us moving, especially when you're dealing with a family, business, all of that going on, and you have multiple businesses. Tell us a little bit about how your faith really sustains you and helps you through all that you're doing.
Yeah. Just kind of growing up, I grew up in a pretty religious household, and that definitely had an impact on me. Just in kind of everything we do, God has a plan for us, and I don't know what that is, but I just know that, if I just follow my calling and just, just don't lose faith. I think good things will come, and so that's kind of where that deep rooted, I guess, I don't know if integrity is the right word, but that's where that solidity comes from, that good foundation there. And I know that, just in our regular everyday life with, relationships we have a great team. We have a wonderful team that work for us, at FUZZ LAB and at the bar. We just treat everybody with respect. We have I would say we have a kind of a diverse team. And just being a good person, being a good human is really, the best thing you can do whenever you're leading people is just take care of your people. And a lot of that is kind of rooted in faith there. And I would say it's kind of challenging, especially when starting a new business, to find the time and to be with family. But one of the things I've learned, especially since adding in FUZZ LAB as a new venture this year, is just trying to be present and not so overwhelmed with everything, and just try to take every moment for what it's worth, and just to not, you might be in a pretty tough circumstance or a pretty tough situation, and it can be kind of easy to go down that rabbit hole. But really to just back out and just take a look around and kind of take inventory of what you have, and it's just be grateful for that. And so, love my kids, love my wife, and
you have a great perspective. You mentioned in the green room beforehand that you guys took family time yesterday, and that's important to make sure that you set aside that time. We often talk about not a balance between faith, family, and business, but an integration. How do you work these things together? Your children are very young. Obviously, they're not working in the business yet, but I have a feeling that they might. And I remember our pastor, Ron Johnson, and he was preaching and saying, you need to believe that God has a plan for your life. And I remember telling him afterwards, I said, Ron, that's not the problem. I know God has a plan for my life. And just like you said, the challenge is, when's he going to reveal that to me? And both you and your wife attended Baylor University, which is a very old institution. In fact, I think it's one of the oldest universities in Texas, Christian University. And but we often provide inspiration to people who say, they went this way, but then it turned out they went that way. Both you and your wife were in science in Baylor, and here you are, entrepreneurs. Tell us about that journey.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how that happens, right? So, both my wife and I graduated from Baylor. She received her bachelor's in biology, and I got mine in biochemistry. We were both pre-med students, so just on that track, right? And that was kind of the plan that we had at the time, and just it's funny how things play out. I mean, when we graduated Baylor, we were kind of in a unique situation. We were engaged at the time, briefly engaged, but we knew that we had plans to get married. And we made a lot of key decisions there. And one of them was, actually getting commissioned and following the track of the Air Force. And so I think her plan, I'm not going to speak too much on what she was thinking there, but I think, she was hoping to go into medicine on that side, and things didn't work out quite the way they, we wanted. And, as for me, I went on a medical mission trip, kind of later I think it was my junior year. And, it was very eye-opening. First off, I love serving. I think that was such an eye-opening experience just in that regard alone. But it also, I kind of got the feeling, just like started to question, like, is this really for me? Is this what I want to do? Is this how I want to serve? And I think the more that I thought about it, more that I prayed about it, it just wasn't the direction for me. And at least not actively practicing medicine. And so, we both pursued med school. We were kind of putting applications together. We were getting, our MCAT studies and getting all that stuff. But we both kind of come from business backgrounds in a way. I would say more so, Ashley for sure, with her mom having owned and operated a really prominent buffet here in Temple. And then, of course, with my upbringing, my dad was a huge influence on me. He was a property manager. He also owned some rentals himself and would take me along with him. But I really didn't pay much attention to it at the time. I would sit in the car and kind of play on my Game Boy and stuff. But I guess I was learning through osmosis, just kind of being immersed in that, not really what's going on, knowing what's going on, but just being present. As he's taking care of his stuff. And so that really had a big impact on me. And so we kind of took that, that leap of faith there and just thought like, well, maybe we ought to pursue that. Maybe we ought to pursue business and entrepreneurship and go to work for ourselves.
Yeah, that's amazing too, because, I think life is the best teacher. And as you go through things and you're experiencing and you're learning where you really want to head and the things you're going to do. And also your family experiences coming from your father and all that is amazing. And I just think what you're doing, Alpha, is great. We have come to the end of our time today with Alpha Newberry, who's amazing guest today here on the Experience Local. And Alpha, if you want to real quickly give us the way people get in touch with you, if they want to learn more about your businesses, that'd be great.
Yeah. So if you're in the Central Texas area, you can check us out. You can check out FUZZ LAB. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at FUZZ LAB Waco. You can also go to our website, www.fuzzlabwaco.com. You can book any of our workshops just for there on our website. It doesn't cost anything to book, to reserve a spot, and you can reschedule things there. And then also, if you're in Central Texas, you can come check us out at Bit Bar, which is located in Temple. That's at Bit Bar Temple. We're on Instagram and Facebook. And you can go to our website, bitbartemple.com.
Awesome. Well, we'll make sure and get all of that in the show notes and the comments. A whole lot of that is already in the comments and show notes. It's clickable. Everybody can go straight to Alpha and learn more about this. And Alpha, we just want to thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Russ. And thank you, Scott, for having me. I really enjoyed talking to you guys this morning.
All right.
Yeah.
Stand by in the green room. We'll be right back.
Okay.
You there. Fabulous, eh?
Yeah, my goodness. I think it better every week. I'm telling you, that is one busy young man.
And he mentioned that Ashley is commissioned in the Air Force. She's going to be deploying, I believe, in January for 6 months. And we'll have to have her when she gets back, we can talk about her deployment. It'd be great on the experience on Wednesday.
That would be great.
About her service to our country.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I'm just so thankful for that, for people willing to do that. So, Scott, another great week. Everybody, don't forget, we're here every Monday on the Experience Local, live with Russ and Scott. Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, we go live, and then it sits on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook forever. You can also listen on your favorite podcast platform. And most of all, don't forget to go to local.theexperience.video for more information about the Experience Radio Network and all that Scott and I are about. And until next week, have an amazing week, everybody. You have anything to say before we go out, Scott?
Hey, always enjoy the experience.
Woohoo! See you, everybody.
Thank you for tuning in to the Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Listen to the program on Spotify or wherever you listen to fine podcasts. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Experience Local with Russ and Scott.